the change you have to build within your organizations. We then looked at the inventory aspect, right? And I think there are amazing new ways to provide advertising, whether it's the geo aspect and redefining that. Lots of different types of data that are now available in mobile that weren't necessarily available to us in desktop. And then finally, this tracking component. I think the real rocket ship, if you will, of mobile is when you can combine the unique nuances of the and capabilities of its targeting and of its personalization with a better and more consumer-friendly way to track. And I think when you combine those two, you end up with the ability to have very specific targets and behavioral advertising, if you will, while still providing scale. Because I think, for me, the critical problem is there's so much inventory constraint in certain pockets, right? Apple, iOS, iPad inventory is, completely sold out almost all the time, right? But that same audience exists on Android phones, and perhaps not even in the U.S., but in other countries if you're doing business there. So the key is for us to start to be able to recognize audience at scale as opposed to recognize a technology on a device. And I think that's the sequence that I would try to build here so far. And I don't know, Ann, if that's something you can comment on. But I like the question.
And it does seem that if people agree with you that we need to kind of work on the tracking and measurement side of things.
Yeah, no one's highly satisfied, right? A majority of people are dissatisfied. I think it's a driving need in the marketplace. And what's interesting to me is that, similar to what I was talking about in geo-targeting, I think that this channel can really actually leapfrog other digital media channels and doing a better job at identifying users. While people are dissatisfied today, I think there's an opportunity by using multiple tracking technologies that we actually do a much better job than ever before in identifying users and being able to use that. So I'm sure we'll go into a little bit more on that later in the presentation.
Yeah. So this next point in terms of a challenge, I mean, this is, frankly, I believe this is a challenge unique to mobile that wasn't necessarily present at the beginning of desktop. And it's certainly an evolution of how we need to think about, the path forward. And kind of relates, Michael, to the question we got about or the statement you made about the power of one or the marketing to one. Clearly, we have to be careful as an industry and respectful of the consumer in that regard. There's laws and there's perception around what we're doing, and I think we have to embrace privacy by design when it comes to technically what we're doing as marketers and as technologists in this sector. Ann?